Yeah, what it is, what it do, what it is. It is your boy, the Grizz, and I am coming to you with not a review, but almost a full game review, but I quit at the final boss. Now, most people always say, well, Grizz, you always don't finish games. You always quit games. But let me explain something to y'all. I had full intention on finishing this game, so much so that I was on the final boss. But when I got to the final boss, there was some extreme design flaws, something that I noticed throughout the game. But on that final boss, it's just a little too prevalent. And I want to say that this game specifically is Romeo, is a Deadman, the latest game done by Grasshopper Inc. and Suda 51. I was really excited about this game because I do love action RPGs. I love Japanese just action games. I love action games in general. And I played a little bit of Killer is Dead back in the day. I do have it physically, and I do have it on the PC, but never really gave it a fair chance. But if I could see a game where a person has a gun and a sword, all right, maybe you have my attention. Now, what I do know throughout history is that Suda 5-1 games are always just a little bit weird. But I do want to say that this is just me spitting it off the dome. This isn't a script. This is me just completely stopping the game and going basically what's been on my mind since the release date of it, mid-February. So I don't want to say that this is a bad game as a whole. There is a lot to like here, but there is some heavy on the weirdness, and you can't really put everything together. And then you kind of do during the end, but certain stuff doesn't make sense. So basically, you play as a simp named Romeo, and where you ironically have met your girlfriend Juliet, and then you're also a cop, a deputy to the sheriff, and somehow the sheriff gets killed and you get your face eaten, and then your grandfather pops out of nowhere in the portal, stabs you in the face with some device, and some robotic device, and it just takes over your head in your arm. After that little white devil thing was killed, that pretty much killed you and killed the sheriff, and then you turn into Deadman, Romeo. I don't know. It sounds like some Rick and Morty-ish, but it's even more complicated than that. But then somehow your grandfather dies and he ends up on the back of your jacket, his likeness at least. And so your jacket is talking to you throughout the game. Yeah. In the beginning, you hear Juliet say, please kill me. And Romeo goes, no, I don't know. Why would I do that? Then he ends up dating her. And then shit starts to go bad. Romeo ends up working for the FBI, Space and Time Police, and you have no idea what's going on there. You talk to some dude who I guess is a dude who's from ancient Greece or something like that. There's a cat person. There's another person that's just in the computer. And what else do we have here? We have, put it this way, when you change, depending on the environment, the animation completely changed the characters. The cutscenes are shown through a comic book style art. I do appreciate that. But while it's fresh on my mind, I just got to really nail it down to the combat. Combat is cool until it's really not. There's some heavy design flaws and too many animations that you're just stuck on where you can't react to it. And this was prevalent very much so on the final boss battle. You could kind of squeeze your way and manage your way through the rest of the game, because as I did, but I don't really think it's a skill issue. I really do believe it's a just design flaw. Y'all remember back in the day when you went to play Street Fighter 2, for some of the younger people on the channel, I do believe you can play this version of Street Fighter if you want to download it on whatever platforms Capcom is reselling it. But in Street Fighter 2 specifically, whenever you would go to fight Guile, if you jumped, he didn't have to charge his flash kick. He could just hit it at any time. Anytime was no charge. Now, if you are a Street Fighter fan, you know that you have to hold down and then press up. I think for like 3 to 4 seconds or something like that, so you can catch your enemy slipping. Not when you're playing against the computer or AI, if you will. It doesn't have to charge it. It can just hit you at any point. That's kind of what this game feels like, right? So if you have, now they have this thing called the dead ball, and that's what you control. It turns into whatever various weapons you do, right? But here's the thing. There's a couple different weapons. There's a shotgun, a minigun. I guess I want to say a submachine gun, a rocket launcher, and a pistol. Now you can always go and upgrade your weapons, but that's a whole game in itself, and I like that. But you don't really realize how slow these things get reload until it's really time. And then at the same time, while you're reloading, you really can't move faster than a snail's pace. He's slowly walking around, reloading, taking his sweet time, and the enemy is coming to attack you. You can't dash fast enough. You can't get away fast enough. You can't even respond to defend yourself. There is no block. There is no parry. You just have to sit there and be open. And when you can easily get swarmed by so many enemies, you can't get out of that. So there's these zombie-like enemies that you fight, and if like 6 of them swarm you, if one hits you, you are stuck in that animation until you are stopped from being hit. So if you are swarmed by like 5 or 6 of them, and they are still on the same attack pattern, you are going to die. Let's just put it that simple. You can't block it, you can't dodge it, you can't get out of it. It's like the reason why I don't play Tekken. If you knock me on the ground, I should be able to get up. You shouldn't be able to stomp the ground and I bounce and you hit me with another combo. That's just mad unfair and mad cheap. I don't care. Fighting game community, y'all can come for me. I respect the fighting game community, but that's why I don't play certain games. That type of thing pisses you off. I would understand a small window that requires skill, but when you are definitely just locked and you can't help yourself, that has got to be one of the most frustrating, cheap and cheating type of designs in gaming. You just can't really defend yourself, and that final boss battle pissed me off so much that I took my Xbox Elite, my expensive customized Xbox Series 2 Elite controller, and slammed it on the ground. I ain't been that pissed in years. And lads and ladettes, when you are an adult with a family, thankfully I was in the house by myself, you can't be doing that. But once again, as an adult, I decided to uninstall this game off of my PC. Did I have fun? Yeah, there was some fun to have. For the most part, it was becoming a 7 to a 7.5 out of 10 game. But when you really notice those design flaws in this game, especially in the final battle, and that's kind of ironic that you really you feel like you could push through it, but when you get to that final battle, man, oh man, that's frustrating. So I thought it was a really good game. The story was told very interesting. There's also a place in there where you go to, like when you're trying to say, if you go to a level and there's doors locked, you go to a TV where there's a guy, his head is cut off, he's either eating or making a cup of coffee, and he sends you into a place called the subspace where you can go around in here, and you don't usually fight here. And so you go around here and you find ways to open doors and get what's called Callista gates to unlock these doors and unlock them in the real world. Yeah, I know it's all over the place, but even the animation is different. The game is artistically interesting. It's weird, but it's very different. But those design flaws when it comes to the combat is very, very frustrating. So, given the fact that I did not break my controller, and I did give up on the final boss, I will go ahead and give this game a 7 out of 10. It is a decent game. If you have a palate for these types of games and you can bear and grin it, I highly recommend it. And in fact, I still kind of recommend it because for the most part, it was fun. I can't front. Even with those design flaws, it was a fun game, interesting story. There's also, I wanted to point this out, there's a hub world where you get to go on a ship where you operate from the FBI and the space-time police, and you get to go and cook, make meals that help you in the long run. You have these things called bastards that you plant for some reason. There's zombies with certain powers that help you. This is an action RPG. Zombies that help you with certain abilities. One has lightning, some have lasers, some heal you, some just explode. Many, many different things. And I think you should definitely experience it. But not being able to finish it is probably one of the most frustrating things. I'm already known for not finishing games, but I tried my best on this one, y'all. And I just don't think I am up to snuff. But if you have made it to the end of this video, thank you so, so much. I hope you enjoyed some of the gameplay that has been here. I do hope you enjoyed my reviews. And even though it was all over the place and I am just spitballing, but it's easier for me to spitball instead of go ahead and writing it, because I got to get the thoughts right out of my head. But I really hope y'all enjoyed it. I enjoyed most of it with the game. And let me know if you've played Romeo is a Dead Man. Let me also know if you have beat it to completion and what was the way to cheat this game in order to beat it. Because I even looked up a YouTube tutorial and they were still getting beat down, but they finished. And yeah, no, I don't really have the patience for it. Thank y'all so much for watching. And this video is finito.